Hi, everyone. I am Missy Hughes, and I'm a productivity coach. And today I'm going to teach you 3 steps to stop being late forever. If what I say today rings a bell for you, go to the pinned link in the comments and sign up for a free discovery call where you and I will meet virtually and we will look at your specific roadblocks and make a plan to eliminate them. So I spent the first 35 years of my life being late all the time. No matter where I went, how important it was, who I was meeting, how many people were waiting, I was either late or screaming in on 2 wheels to make it in the nick of time. And the result of that was missed flights, irritated friends, problems at work, and a ton of stress for me and for others, I'm quite sure. I hated being late. I hated the exhaust pipe sigh that people would give me when I walked in the door late. I hated being unprepared because I was forgetting things because I was rushing around. I hated not knowing if my friends were telling me the truth about the time or they were giving themselves a little buffer so that when I was late, it was not a big deal. I hated disappointing other people. I hated disappointing myself. I was a mess. So I want to give you the tools to calm that crazy, calm that rush, that feeling of stress that is being late. So the first reason I was late is because I was distracted. I was trying to get everything done. I wasn't saying what is the most important thing for me to do now. I would just see this, do it, see that, do it, see this, do it, see that, squirrel, right? Everything became important because I wasn't saying this is what's important for me to get to where I need to go right now. So as I'm leaving the house, say I'm going somewhere for a dentist appointment, who knows? If I'm leaving the house, I need my wallet, my keys, my phone. I need to be dressed appropriately. And if I'm going to be gone for a while, food. I don't need all of the laundry folded, all of the dishes clean, the t-shirt that didn't fit right back in the car to take back to Target. I don't need all of those things. If they're all done, amazing, but that's not what I need to get out the door. So when you decide exactly what you need, you can prepare that and focus only on that. So when you do that, let me warn you, everything in your house is going to get really loud. All of the sudden, the laundry is going to be jumping out. Pick me, pick me. The dog's going to be like, I need a walk. I need a walk, right? All of the things that you see are going to all of a sudden be magnified. They want your attention. So that's okay. I'm going to teach you in another video about how to get those things done too. But I want you to focus here on being on time for that thing that you're going to, in this case, the dentist appointment. So here's why all of those other things feel important. Here's why when you have one priority, getting somewhere on time, everything else becomes loud, is because you're having this thought that the more I do, the better it will be. The more I get done, the better I will be. As my friend Arthur says, you're trying to earn your way into heaven, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work because when you feel frantic, you get less done and you feel worse about it. So, my husband and I have a habit of asking each other at the end of the day, tell me about your day. Now, when I'm feeling frantic, my answer is a to-do list. It's all the things I did today. There's very little connection in that. Does he care that I did laundry? I mean, maybe if he wants something, does he care that I washed the lettuce? Maybe if he wants a salad, but does that help him get to know me better? Does that help him get to understand what it felt like to be in my day? No. So when we're looking for connection in our lives, what's meaningful is not what did you do? What's meaningful is how did you feel? What was your life like today? What what did you love in the day? What was really hard in the day? These are the things that we connect to as humans to each other. That's what you connect to when you lie your head on the pillow at the end of the day. It's not all the things that are done. I mean, maybe if your brain is worried about all those things, but what you really feel good about is the things that you connected to, the things that you decided that went well, or the things that you want to do better. So, at the end of the day, nobody wants to know in your life about the 852,000 times in your life you fluffed the couch cushions. What people really want to know is what was important to you. What did you feel good about? What would you like to do differently? That's what's meaningful, not how much you got done. So instead of, I've got to get it all done, I've got to get it all done, I've got to see this, so I got to do it. Practice the thought, I'm building the skill of being on time for what I'm doing right now. So it takes you out of this big picture of all of it, overwhelm, and into a focus of what have I got to do for this one thing in this moment right now. So, step 2 to being on time, plan for the worst case scenario. Now, I know what you're thinking. My mind is always in the worst case scenario. I got to make it right. I got to get some things done. But here's what happens when we're feeling frantic, we're not thinking about options. We're thinking about one thing. What's the best way that I can get from point A to point B one time if I'm going to the dentist, going back to this thing, if I'm going into that one time, it took me 17 minutes to get there. It was amazing. I got all green lights. Nothing was in my way. I bet I can make it. That's what time your brain hitches onto that. That's how long it takes to get there. I can get there in 17 minutes. Now, what that was probably an anomaly. That's probably not the way it happens regularly. And it's certainly not what is not going to be what happens if there are red lights, if there is construction, if you spill your coffee and have to change your shirt, right? So when I say plan for the worst case scenario, I want you to plan to be tortured by every single red light between here and there. I want you to think about all the pedestrians crossing the street and you want to wave at them and say hi. I want you to think about the construction crew that's trimming the trees in one lane and you're not honking at anybody. You're not giving a big sigh. You're just waiting your turn. I want you to think about not having a parking spot when you get there and you got to walk a couple of minutes to get to where you're going. When you look at the app on your phone to look at the map, see how long it takes and then add 15 minutes. Now, I know what you're thinking. I don't have time for all that. I don't have time for all that because you're thinking it has to go well. It has to. Because when we're frantic, it does have to. It feels like life or death when we're frantic. When we're frantic, we're in the thick of the worst case scenario already, and we're just trying to survive. We're just trying to get there. So when you think it has to work out well, the truth is it doesn't have to, but in your mind, I will only be okay if it works out well. I'm not okay if their construction crew and the red light and the pedestrian that's taken forever, right? So I had a client one time say, God, it really stresses me out to look at the worst case scenario because I just know I'm going to get lost down there. Now, this makes sense when we're used to going to the worst case scenario when we're worried, when we go to the worst case scenario, when we feel like that's the only option. It makes sense that we would be afraid of getting stuck down there when you're in panic mode already. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at it without the panic mode. We're going to take the stress out of it and say, oh, I don't think the worst case scenario is going to happen. I'm just going to be prepared if it does, because I'm going to be okay either way. You take that out of it, take a deep breath, and now you get to see all the options of ways you can create solutions. So when we take a calm look at the worst so that we can be calm when it happens, it isn't a state of emergency. We don't only have the panic way out, the late way out, the disappointment way out, the letting people down way out. So instead of it has to go well, practice the thought, I'm building the skill of being okay, whether it goes well or doesn't. Step 3 to being on time. Back your way through your schedule, through your preparations to see what time you need to start. So the first thing you're going to do is list everything you need to do to get to that dentist appointment. What are you going to do from waking up to the dentist appointment? And figure out, then you're going to estimate how long each of those things take you. So if my dentist appointment starts at 8 a.m., it's going to take me 17 minutes to get there. So I'm going to plan on adding, let's say, my math, sorry. I'm going to make that 25 minutes, or just easy, round it all the way up with that 15 minutes. I'm going to make it 30. I'm going to take a shower, 30 minutes, work out, 30 minutes, walk the dog, 45 minutes, breakfast, 30 minutes, wake up, journal, coffee, 30 minutes. Now, okay, I know if I have all those minutes down, I got to be there at 8. So I got to back up that amount of time. So maybe I'm getting up at 5. If I know I've worked out all that time, I know I'm not snoozing till 5:07. I've got things assigned and my mind can connect to what I'm doing in those times. So I'm not putting on a load of laundry because it's not in the routine, right? I don't need to do that. I don't have to do that to get to the dentist appointment on time. So I'm not texting my mom about when we're getting together next month. That can wait till the waiting room in the dentist appointment, right? So I'm not trying to, all of these things that want my attention, they don't get my attention because I've already looked at what have I got to do to get out the door. So when I do that, when you do that, you give yourself a realistic expectation and a relaxed schedule. You're not making space for extra stuff. You're not throwing in, maybe I'll do this. No, you're getting clear about what you need to do. So you may be saying, I don't have time for all that. I don't have time to plan. I don't have time for all this extra time. I don't have time for rounding up. And that makes sense because you haven't been making time for that. What you've been making time for is rushing around, for spilling your coffee and having to change your shirt, for forgetting things and having to go back to the house, for having to chase the dog because you were a little crazy when you were putting on the leash and it didn't get on there well. You've been making time for making up reasons for why you were late instead of being on time. That's the practice that you've been in. So this is going to feel really new. So if that feels a little harsh, I get it. It is harsh. It is the harsh reality that I lived for a long time. So trust me, I'm with you in that. But what we're going to start doing is making a plan for it to be different. We're going to practice making the time. So instead of thinking, I don't have time for this, practice thinking, I'm building the time that I need. This will be new, so start slow. Start by rounding up to the next 5 minutes. If something takes you 2 minutes, it takes 5. If something takes you 7 minutes, it takes 10. If it's going to take you, the drive's going to take you 17 minutes, definitely at least make it 20, but I would back that up even more. that is going to give you the buffer that keeps you calm, keeps you clear, and gets you there on time. So, just to recap, step one, you are going to know what you need specifically for the thing that you're on time for. You're going to focus on preparing only those things for that appointment, that thing. And instead of thinking, I've got to get it all done, you're going to practice the thought, I'm building the skill of being on time for this thing, for what I want to get done. Step two, you're going to plan for the worst case scenario during travel time, not the best case scenario. Instead of, it has to go well. It has to go well. My life depends on it. You're going to practice the thought, I'm building the skill of being okay, whether it goes really well or whether it doesn't go that well. Step three, you're going to list the steps. You're going to back up your schedule. So you're going to list the steps of the things you need to do. You're going to figure out how long you're going to estimate. You're going to estimate how long those things take. And then you're going to round up to the next 5 minutes. So that you can figure out when you need to start that list of things to be on time. These steps are going to get you clear about what you need. They're going to help you stay focused on the essentials of what you need to be on time. And as you move through those steps, your mind is going to be relaxed, not stressed, so that you can ease through your day, not rush through it. So the gift is you get to think clearly and reduce stress. It's such a thoughtful way to treat yourself. So if any of this has rung a bell for you, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and go to those comments and schedule your free discovery call to see what your specific roadblocks are, and we can make a plan to get rid of them. I look forward to seeing you.